Alright, so we got this problem. A local humane society wishes to construct a rectangular pen that encloses 3,000 square feet and subdivide it into two pens using a fence parallel to one of the sides. One side will be reserved for cats, the other side for dogs. The four outer sides of the pen must be heavy duty and cost $2.50 per foot, and the interior fence costs $1 per foot. How should the farmer construct the pen to minimize costs? So we're going to start with the picture. So we've got this fence here, and we're going to subdivide it into two pieces by making three sides parallel and two sides parallel. So I'm going to go ahead and call the three parallel sides X, just to give them a label. Again, what we call this is not important. And then the two parallel sides on the other end, I'm going to go ahead and call Y. Again, just giving it a name. Now we are minimizing cost. So let's go ahead and write our cost equation. So cost equals, now for the three parallel sides, we're going to go ahead and charge $2.50 a foot, and we have X feet of them, but we have three sides. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply that by 3. Except for that two of those sides only two of those sides has to be heavy duty. So I'm going to actually multiply that just by 2, not 3, 2, because there's only two outside sides. And then we also need the heavy duty fence on the two Y sides, so I'm going to do 250 times Y times 2 as well, because we've got the two outside sides. Now for this one inside link, that can be made of the cheaper material. So we can just charge $1 a foot times X. Now let's go ahead and simplify this down. So 2 times 250 is 5, plus 1 is 6, so that gives me 6X, plus 5Y, because 2 times 2.5 gives me 5. Now we have two variables in this equation, so we've got to uncouple them. We've got to get rid of one of the variables to make it easier to solve. And we can do that by taking into account the area, because we know we need 30,000 square feet. So I'm going to go ahead and write the area equation, because area is X times Y. Area is 3,000, so 3,000 equals X times Y. Now I'm going to go ahead and solve this for Y so I can get X. Again, there's no reason that I'm picking Y in particular other than I just picked a variable. Now I can go ahead and take this 3,000 and plug it into my cost equation to uncouple it. Now I'm only dealing with one variable. So the cost is going to be 6X plus 5 times 3,000 divided by X. And so to simplify this down a little more, gives me the cost is 6X plus 15,000 divided by X. Now we're using the extreme value theorem here, which says that we get our min and max when the derivative equals 0. It's a little more complicated than that, but that's the gist of it. So I'm going to go ahead and take the derivative of this equation, and I'm going to put that over here. So C prime for the derivative is the derivative of 6x is just 6, because we're taking the derivative with respect to x. And then, if you remember, 15,000 divided by x can be rewritten as 15,000 times x to the negative 1. And we can apply the power rule. So take the negative 1 down, so 15,000 times negative 1 is negative 15,000. And then we subtract 1 from the power, negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. And so that gives us 15,000 divided by x squared, because x to the negative 2 is just dividing by x squared. Now we can set this equal to 0 and solve for x. So that gives us 6 minus 15,000 divided by x squared. Go ahead and move the 15,000 over to the other side, so 15,000 divided by x squared equals 6. Multiply both sides by x squared to clear my denominator. It gives me 15,000 equals 6x squared. Divide both sides by 6. gives me x squared equals 15,000 divided by 6 is 2,500. Now I can go ahead and take the square root of both sides. Gives me that x equals 50. Now it is plus or minus 50, but the negative 50 makes no sense in this problem because we can't have a negative fence length. So we're just going to ignore the negative one and just focus on the positive one. Now we can go ahead and take this 50, plug it into my area equation that I used to find y and to solve for y. So that gives me y equals 3,000 divided by 50. So that gives me that y equals 60. So the dimensions of my fence, this side has to equal 60 as well as this side. And these three sides each are going to have to equal 50. And all the units on this are feet because we're dealing with square feet.